Hi everyone, this is Alma coming to you from Huntington Beach, California. Today is Friday, June 23rd of the year 2023, and this is going to be FlossTube number 102. So as always, I want to welcome you all. Welcome back to all my current viewers and subscribers, and thank you, as always, for your continuing support. A special welcome to anybody that's visiting for the first time. I hope that you like what you see today, you find a reason to stay, subscribe, and continue to follow me on my stitching journey. I hope that everybody's doing well. I hope that everybody's staying safe and sound. Everything's okay here. I have gone back to work this last week, but I'm still off of school. So kind of free, kind of not. I do have to go to work in person, even though it's very quiet and there's not much activity at the tutoring center. I still have to report in person, which I wish wasn't the case, but it is what it is. I still have to go and be there for a few hours and then come back Monday through Thursday. So yeah, so that did chip away at my stitching time a little bit. I bring it with me to work anyway, but yeah, it takes me a bit to get there because I hit rush hour. I leave work at 4:30 and I just hit rush hour, and it takes me three times as long to get home as it normally would. I asked for a different shift and my my request was denied. so there it is. Regardless, I have been able to stitch quite a bit the last few weeks. Just again, prior to this week, I had no work, no school, so it was free reign. I even told my boyfriend, I was like, listen, this is going to be, 100% free time. This is the only legit vacation I'm going to get until I have to go to work next week. So I want to take advantage of it and I want to stitch as much as I can. So I did get to do that thing. So without further ado, let's get to the stitching. And this is going to be in no particular order. This is just how I dumped all my whips on here. First up is one of my not abandoned per se, but neglected stitches. This is Change of Seasons 2 by Mystic Stitch Incorporated. They've since gone out of business. Well, I say since. I think the pandemic was what hit them hard. I don't think they have any other method of buying the patterns, but I did see that the website was down. So this one I'm gonna show you in like two halves because it's it's a whip. It's pretty big. Obviously it's 4 parts. So here's the top half with winter and fall, and then the section that I actually worked on was spring, because I try to stitch on whatever season we're on at that point in time. So it was still technically spring when I stitched on this. I think we're officially now in summer. I think so. I think it's the 21st, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's the 21st. That's the first day of summer. 21st of June. Anyway, this is what I did this time around. I did add quite a bit of stitch to them. Let me see. Yeah, 3,459 stitches specifically is how much I did this time, and it's all in the purples. It's all in the purples. I think I had one like the dark purple done. That's over here on this side. So everything else is what I did. I was only working with 2 colors, so that's why I went by pretty quickly. I originally wanted to finish this by 2028, in 5 years time. Honestly, even though I've had this whip for a long time, I don't think that's gonna happen. Simply just because it's such a massive piece. It's such a massive piece. It's one of the bigger pieces that I have. but I do want to pick it up again so that I can have the summer section started at least. So I may stitch on it, if not this month, next month, before I go back to school. So yeah, so 3,459 stitches got me all of that part of the tree, and it's still not even all of the tree. I still have quite a bit to go on it. So another whip that I worked on the last few weeks is my Mirabilia. This is Portrait of Veronica by Nora Corbett, and you know, if you've been with me for the last year or so, then you know that I'm trying to work on this bit by bit, like section by section, so that I can finish her by December. At the end of the year, have at least one more finish. And I finally caught up. All this time I've been playing catch up because I just fell behind because of school. I didn't have that much time to stitch. So I've caught up and I finished her dress finally. The entire dress is finished. Now I just have to stitch her and the bench that she's sitting on. I also have to add the beads. The dress is done except for the beads. That's going to be last. So yeah, I'll pick her up again at the beginning of the month to stitch the July section, and then I hope I can keep up. I hope I can keep up for the rest of the year, but we'll see. School is always full of surprises. So that's that piece. Another piece that I worked on, this one I'm gonna have to show you on my phone, is one of my newer pieces. I started this on January 2nd of the year 2023, and it's Scarlet Witch, Multiverse of Madness. Artist is Daniel Kortek, and it's from Tilton Crafts. And for this one, I didn't have too much done on her. I think I had maybe like 600 stitches done on her the last time I showed it to you, because I started it and then I never picked it back up. So I did want to add a little bit more on her, and this is what I have so far. This is what I have. I still have, because I was using this fabric for something else, so I still have the other whips stitches in there. But as it is, according to my notes, I did 2100 stitches on her, which amounted to like 2.5% or something like that. So I am picking her back up in July. Sammy from Sammy J Stitches picked our categories for us again, and which is why I stitched on her this month. The category was pattern that was released on the year 2022 or 2023. I have started a few pieces the last couple of years, but a lot of them I don't have the year that they were released, so I can't. And they were on Etsy. Yeah, they were on Etsy, so there's no, like, even though they have like the copyright notice, there's no year, which is weird to me. So I have no way of knowing when they designed it, and I have no way of knowing how long they've had that up there. So this was like one of the few. I also started a couple of Mirabilia, or I started one Mirabilia. I started Persephone, and then I also started Reina Paz from Bella Filipina. But again, both of them were older designs that did not come out last year or this year. So that category was repeated, even though it's all random. She just pulls out of a hat. That category just happened to be picked again for July. So I want to, I will stitch on her again. I want to reach 5% this time around, which I hope I can do it. We'll see, but I'm still in summer mode, so I should be able to do it. Speaking of new pieces, last video I did tell you about a new project that I was going to be starting with Sarah from our Stitching Kingdom. We did do that thing last weekend, and we both started Electrical Parade Mandala. Focus, there we go. Electrical Parade Mandala from Atomic Tiki Pins. And we picked the 17th because that was the actual day that the parade was first premiered, I guess, at the parks. So it's not this big. The fabric it wasn't big enough to have left, like, if I cut it to like a decent size according to the size of the chart, I wasn't gonna have enough left over for anything else that was worth cutting the fabric for. So I just left it. Anyway, this is what I have so far. And the glare is it's all over the place today. Anyway, that's 600 stitches done. I think it's like 615 specifically. But this was an adventure to start. It's one of those things where I was just so amped and so excited to start it that I didn't, like, besides the beads, because I did buy the beads, I didn't actually look at the floss list until the day of, until I was like, okay, like, what's the center, you know, what's the center, what's the symbol that's at the center, so what's the thread that I need? And lo and behold, it's a sparkly thread. And I was just like, oh, okay, I don't have sparklies, or at least I thought I didn't. So I thought, fine, I'll go ahead. So instead of starting with the actual words, like instead of stitching the actual words that say Main Street, I was like, fine, I'll just stitch around it, right? Everything around the words. And then I'll go back to stitching the sparklies. And then I remembered that I actually did have some petite treasure braid from a project. I actually don't even know what project this was supposed to be for. I'll have to look. Because I think I'll have to look, because it actually might be for my illustrated manuscript. That's okay. That's going to be an issue. Anyway, so I found these. So I was like, okay, maybe I can use those. Dang it. Because I thought they were for another project that I never actually started, because they were in the same bag. They were in the same bag with the fabric for it. So that's why I was like, oh, this is supposed to be for it was a Carolyn Manning Designs. I never started it, so I was like, that's fine. I'll just use the petite treasure braid for that. So, but the good thing is that it's only, from what I understand, it is only for like the main sign that says Main Street Electrical Parade. I don't think it's used anywhere else, so it's not that much. So I don't think it should be too much of a big deal. But the illustrated manuscript does use a lot of it, though. God bless it. I'll have to check. Point being, and then another thing is, it uses 3031, I think, and I didn't have enough of that thread, but I did have a ton of 838, TMC 838, which is very similar, so I just switch those colors. Like, it's not that big of a, again, it's not that much of a change. So all this to say is next time I really should prepare better and look at my floss list in addition to my beads list. Because yeah, there was just, yeah, there was a lot of improvising, to say the least. So yeah, so that was the start. Like I mentioned, 600 and something stitches. I probably will pick it back up again this week just to get a little bit more. Maybe finish where it says Main Street Electrical Parade. And yeah, because we still have like a week left of June, so I have time. Another project that I worked on, this has become a travel project. I'm taking this to work with me, is my friends and family mystery sampler from Linen and Threads. Focus, there we are. You might remember it from a few years ago. This is their 2020 mystery sampler, and I didn't start until September, so it was practically done when I started it. And this is what I have so far. I'm doing this on an 18 count Ada from Hand Dye by Rolanda, I think is her name, or the shop name. I officially finished January section, February section, and I'm now doing March. And March is a little bit smaller, but that's because, and if any of you stitched this back in 2020, then you'll remember that April is massive. April is just it's a flower pot with the flowers, and it's pretty big. So, you know, smaller March section to kind of brace yourself for the bigger April section. But yeah, I would say it's about 1,000 stitches. I have the stitch count written down on my calendar. I just write down how many stitches I did every day. But I just forgot to look at that before filming. But I mean, yesterday alone I did 500 stitches on this section. So it's a lot. It doesn't look like it's a lot of stitching, but it's a lot of stitching. Especially because it is 18 count, so it's tiny, it's just condensed. So that's 500 stitches on the March section alone, and then whatever was left from February, from the last time I showed it to y'all. So I'll keep going with this. This will probably be my work project for the remainder of the summer session. And then I'll see if I pick up Chopper again once school starts back up. Like the official, like the regular fall semester. This is another piece that I have to show you on my phone. It's another piece that I started and then never picked it back up. This is Amsterdam by Slutta Cross Stitch. There we are. Isn't it pretty? I love those details. This is in a one of four. It's a set of 4 cities. She did Amsterdam, Paris, London, and Lisbon. So, I think I had like 100 stitches on this when I first, like I just did 100 stitches when I started, and then that was it. This is what I have so far. I did hit 10% on this. I'm at 1,500 stitches now. Man, I apologize about the lighting. I'll try my best here, but it's been like this all summer. It's been like this all June. Everybody's complaining about it. It's all the June gloom here. So it doesn't get sunny until it's like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, and by then the sun's already setting. Well, not really, it's summer, but yeah, there's not much sunlight left. So yeah, so I did hit, well, it's actually 10.93%. It's 1,400, because it's 14,000 stitches total. So 1400 stitches was exactly 10%. It's a very quick stitch. I do enjoy it. I do have to get a color though. I didn't realize I needed a DMC 24. I only had DMC 23, which is also used. So I'll have to pick that up sometime. Again, I apparently don't look at my floss lists before starting stuff. So there's that one. Next one that also hit 10%, but it's very different 10%. This is The Eternal Promise by Matt Stewart. Well, design is by Matt Stewart, chart is by Heaven and Earth Designs. You know it, you love it. And I am at 10.65% on this one. At 47,121 stitches. I can't. Is this right? It's not right. It's this way. This is what I have so far, and I can't see what I'm showing you. There we are. I think that's all in frame. Yeah, this is going to be an effort. As it is, let's see, I've done 3,000 stitches on this month. This will be one of my focus pieces next month. One of the categories that Sammy picked this time around is flora and fauna, so I'm gonna run with this one since it's got all the flowers in the border, and there's flowers like on the actual ground too, so it's not like I'm copying out with a flower border. When there's trees and stuff as well, so it's fine. But yeah, the 3,000, so I did do like 1,000 stitches on the border. So I did move a little bit down over here with a few colors, but the vast majority of my stitches have still been on those greens and browns. I'm still trying to work like one color at a time, so do one color across however many pages I'm doing. I think it's like 6 pages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, technically 10 pages. So yeah, so just do one color so that I can stitch relatively fast, and then move on to the next. But because it's so spread out, I don't know, it's hard to see. It's hard to see the process. But yeah, I mean, this one's also a 10%. If I don't laugh about it, I cry, you know? But it's okay. Again, this will get lots of progress next month. Because I'm still in summer vacation. I don't go back to school until in 2 months exactly, actually, the 23rd of August. So I still have some time left before my stitching time is taken away from me. But that is all that I had to show you today. I will be filming a whip parade in the coming week. I may actually just start filming that this weekend, because it's a project. With the Main Street Electrical Parade project, I am back up to 50 projects. I guess I just like that number because, you know, a couple of years ago I finished a ton of projects, but then I started a ton of projects in the last couple of years. So yeah, so it keeps coming back to 50. I do have plans to finish a couple more projects, but I do remember, like at the beginning of the year, I do remember thinking that this year wasn't going to be about finishing projects, it was going to be about making progress. Um, because I don't have that many projects that are close to being finished, except for a few. So I did mention that Sammy picked the categories for us. So one of them is the flora fauna category that I'm using the Each Your Own Promise for, and then this month she picked the pattern that was released in the year 2022 or 2023, and I picked Scarlet Witch for that one. That's why I stitched on her. That category got picked again for July, so I'll stitch on her again, and I do want to hit 5% on her. This time around I hit 2.5%, so I think I should be able to double that and get to 5%, and I'll call that a win. I'll call that a success. So that's 2. Then another category I can speak is medium. For that one, it barely fit the category because it's a relatively small pattern, but I am gonna be using Katrina from Yanni Stitcher. And that one I would like to finish. I don't know if I'll be able to, but I would like to finish because again, it's a relatively small piece, and it's not full coverage. So it's one of those. It's another one of those stitches where a few stitches go a long way. So that's 3. There's the full coverage category, which for me is like, be more specific. For that one, I am using the Little Prince, which is one of the designs from Mandarin Designs that I have. I haven't stitched on him in forever, and I always say the same thing. I should, because it's an easy stitch. The background is all half stitched, so it's a quick stitch. So I will do that for July. Again, if I finish, that'd be fantastic. And I feel like I could, just because of how quick it should stitch. So that's fingers crossed I'll be able to do that. And then oldest whip, the last category, I mean in no particular order, but the last category that she picked was oldest whip. So I will be bringing back out my mini one, which again hasn't seen too much love since like January, because that's when I started. I do still want to stitch at least 500 stitches on all my whips, so I started going down the line, and obviously that was first up. So I think I did more than 500 stitches, but point being is I ticked it off the list, and then I just never came back to it. So I will be stitching on her again. So yeah, so that's what's coming up. I do hope to continue filming every other week. So I'll do the whip parade, and as always, those I always film so that they're like exclusive to each other. So if you were to skip my regular floss tubes, you wouldn't miss anything. So unless I'm like super burnt out on filming, I do hope to film my regular floss tube the week afterwards, which would be, what is that? July 1st would be the whip parade. July 8th would be the regular floss tube. That sounds about right. So yeah. So as always, if you have any questions about anything that you saw today, feel free to leave me a comment. I did mention that Mystic Stitch is not available anymore because I feel like somebody else reached out to me asking about another pattern. I'll have to look back because I remember thinking, oh, that's right, they're no longer in business either, but I can't remember which pattern that was. Or because they couldn't find the Etsy shop. Yeah, so I'll have to look back and answer that comment. But anyway, again, just anything else, feel free to leave me a comment down below. I did get a hold of the giveaway winners. So again, thank you all for participating. Thank you for sticking around with me on all these 100 videos. Really appreciate it, and hope to be around for 100 more, if not more. And yeah, as always, I hope you guys have a relaxing weekend, a productive week, and you always find the time to do the thing that makes you happy. Until next time, ciao.